আসসালামু আলাইকুম, শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আশা করি সবাই ভালো আছেন। বাংলাদেশ কৃষি জাগরণের আজকের আয়োজনে আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। আপনাদের সাথে আছি আমি ফারজানা ইয়াসমিন তিথি, এগ্রিপ্রেনার কোঅর্ডিনেটর। এবং আমাদের আজকের আলোচ্য বিষয় হচ্ছে ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট ইন দ্য এনভায়রনমেন্ট। ট্রেস এলিমেন্টের বর্তমান অবস্থা, উৎস এবং কৃষি ও মানব স্বাস্থ্যের উপর এর ক্ষতিকর দিক সম্পর্কে আমরা আজকে আলোচনা করব। এবং আমাদের সাথে অতিথি হিসেবে উপস্থিত আছেন ওয়ান অফ দ্য মোস্ট রিকগনাইজড রিসার্চার ইন বাংলাদেশ, ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ সাইফুল ইসলাম স্যার। সাইফুল ইসলাম স্যার বর্তমানে হচ্ছেন পটুয়াখালী সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি ইউনিভার্সিটিতে ডিপার্টমেন্ট অফ সয়েল সায়েন্সের প্রফেসর এবং চেয়ারম্যান হিসেবে কর্মরত আছেন। এবং স্যার পিএইচডি এবং পোস্টডক করেছেন ওয়াইএনইউ জাপান থেকে, এবং স্যার পোস্টডক জেএসপিএস করেছেন টোকিও ইউনিভার্সিটি জাপান থেকে। চলে আসছি স্যারের কাছে। আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার, স্যার কেমন আছেন?
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ, ভালো আছো?
জি স্যার, ভালো আছি স্যার। আপনাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ স্যার এত ব্যস্ততার মধ্যে আমাদের জন্য সময় বের করার জন্য।
থ্যাংক ইউ, আসলে তোমাদেরকে ধন্যবাদ এই সুন্দর একটা প্রোগ্রাম অ্যারেঞ্জ করার জন্য।
ওকে স্যার, দর্শকদের উদ্দেশ্যে বলে রাখতে চাই, আসলে ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট শব্দটির সাথে মনে হয় আমরা অনেকেই, কিন্তু এর সম্পর্কে বিস্তর কোনো জ্ঞান হয়তো আমাদের অনেক। তো ট্রেস এলিমেন্টের সম্পর্কে এর গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ও ক্ষতিকর সব ধরনের দিক নিয়ে আমরা আজকে আলোচনা করার জন্য আমাদের এই ছোট্ট প্রয়াস। আশা করি ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন এবং আপনাদের অবশ্যই প্রোগ্রাম ভালো লাগবে। এবং কারোর যদি কোনো বিষয়ে কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে অবশ্যই আপনারা কমেন্ট বক্সে জানাতে ভুলবেন না। আমরা আপনার প্রশ্নটি পৌঁছে দিতে চেষ্টা করবো স্যারের কাছে। তো চলে যাচ্ছি স্যারের কাছে। স্যার, লকডাউনের সময় কিভাবে পার করছেন, যেহেতু শাটডাউন চলছে? বাসায় আছেন কিনা?
আসলে অবশ্যই বাসায় থাকতে হচ্ছে সবসময়, যদিও এটা আমার জন্য মনে করি কষ্টদায়ক। কারণ আমি যখন ধরো ইউনিভার্সিটি খোলা ছিল, প্রতিদিন ইউনিভার্সিটি যেতাম বা রিসার্চ করতাম বা স্টুডেন্টদের সাথে একটা ইন্টারাকশন ছিল। এখন ঘরের ভিতর থেকে সবকিছু করতে হচ্ছে, তারপরেও চেষ্টা করতেছি সবকিছু ওভারকাম করার জন্য। যদিও খারাপ লাগতেছে, তারপর ভালো লাগছে। মাঝে মাঝে এরকম তোমাদের এরকম প্রোগ্রাম, নট অনলি দিস প্রোগ্রাম, অলসো আদার প্রোগ্রাম অ্যারেঞ্জ করে এবং সেখানে অংশগ্রহণ করি। যেমন গতকাল একটা মিটিং ছিল, মোর দ্যান 2 hours উইথ সাম রিনাউন্ড সায়েন্টিস্ট ইন বাংলাদেশ, লাইক দিস।
আচ্ছা স্যার, আসলে করোনা মহামারীতে আমাদের সবারই প্রত্যাশা এই পরিস্থিতি অনেক যত শীঘ্রই সম্ভব আমাদের অনুকূলে আসুক এবং আমরা রেগুলার লাইফে ফিরে যেতে পারি। তো স্যার আপনার কাছে চলে যাচ্ছি। স্যার, ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট নিয়ে যেহেতু আমাদের আজকের প্রোগ্রাম, তো স্যার প্রশ্ন শুরুটাই করতে যাচ্ছি আসলে স্যার ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট কি বেসিক থেকে, আপনি যদি আমাদেরকে সাথে একটু শেয়ার করতেন।
আসলে দিস ইজ নিউ টপিক, ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট। এটা আসলে সাম এসেনশিয়াল সাম টক্সিক। অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমার বিষয়টা হবে টক্সিক এলিমেন্ট নিয়ে কথা বলবো। আসলে যে সমস্ত এলিমেন্ট এনভায়রনমেন্টে অবস্থান করে, যাদের ডেনসিটি or atomic weight or molecular weight is very high and create toxic effect. That means some poisonous effect on human body. Everybody knows in our country like arsenic, one of the most toxic elements in Bangladesh. Actually in the world, if you go any place, if you say I came from Bangladesh, আমি বাংলাদেশী নাগরিক, তখন সবাই বলবো you came from the arsenic contaminated area. That means everybody knows about arsenic and the effects of arsenic in Bangladesh. Actually this is the one of the example, arsenic. Also other cadmium, chromium, in our country, especially tannery industry, a lot of chromium release every day, and this chromium also on toxic element affect in our body. It creates some poisonous effect also. Another is cadmium also create some effect like kidney damage. If we expose a higher amount of cadmium, then our kidney will be damaged. Many patients they say our kidney damage, kidney failure. Actually doctors say it's many reason, but nobody knows about. Due to the reason, one of the reason is cadmium, because in our food a lot of cadmium remain, which I found in my research. I may discuss from my slide also. So actually these elements when remain in the environment, either low level or higher level, cause any toxic effect. This is a trace element like this.
আচ্ছা, ধন্যবাদ স্যার এত সুন্দরভাবে আমাদেরকে বুঝিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য। স্যার আপনি স্যার যদি স্লাইড শেয়ার করতে চান আমাদের সাথে, স্যার আপনি অবশ্যই স্লাইড শেয়ার করতে পারবেন স্যার, যদি শেয়ার করেন আর কি।
থ্যাংক ইউ। ওকে, দেখা যাচ্ছে স্লাইড?
জি স্যার, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
Okay. So actually, this is the small title. Trace elements in the environment, its status, source, and impact. Which impact remain in our agriculture as well as our human health. So actually, আমার সম্পর্কে অলরেডি তিথি বলছে। আমি প্রফেসর ডক্টর সাইফুল ইসলাম from Soil Science Department, Potokali Science and Technology University. It's okay. And what is toxic elements, trace metal or heavy metals? Sometimes we also call heavy metals like this. Actually, this is the chemical composition of element which remain in the environment with high density and create toxic or poisonous effect at low concentration. So this is heavy metals, and some example like arsenic, chromium, thallium, nickel, lead, cadmium, so on. Also mercury. Actually, it's very difficult to discuss all of the things within this short time, but I will try to discuss some of the things. Firstly, this one is arsenic, because arsenic is hot topics in Bangladesh. We know every place we can see arsenic, and actually this is new for most of the people. In the environment or our food or other compartment of environment, arsenic remains some form. You can see arsenic 453, something like this. But these two form, arsenate and arsenite, is very very toxic. If arsenic sends to this inorganic form in the environment, and if we expose, that means if we expose in our body from food, from water, from soil, it creates toxic effects. And another heavy metals or toxic elements is mercury. So mercury is very toxic. Some countries they also suffered, like Japan. They suffer due to the mercury contamination. And in the case of mercury, actually the mercury when deposition, but after deposit, it goes to the aquatic environment, that means pani or water or river or ocean. Then it sends to the methyl mercury, another dangerous form of mercury, and goes to the fish body. And after when we expose or we eat fish with contaminated mercury, then it creates toxic effects in our body. Okay. So what are the source? From my research, I try to show this figure. Actually, I would like to talk about our agriculture point of view. Also other factor like urbanization, industrialization, or the architectural development or so on also affect the high cause of trace elements in the environment. But in the case of agriculture, actually we know we need to produce. Actually our population is increasing, and for use a large number of population, we need to increase our food. This is why we add some organic substance from the waste part or from the deposited sediment, also from river, we add as organic source in our crop field. In this way, the sources of trace metals in soil is increasing like this, if we see, and after goes to the soil or our crop field, finally it released to the air, and after rainfall or some cycle, it goes to the aquatic water body like water, sediment, or aquatic biota, and finally from this surrounding environment we expose. So this is the source. And another research, some place in Bangladesh, we try to show the source of trace elements, and almost similar source, some source from industrial waste, some source from agricultural waste also, and municipal sewage or wastewater discharge, so on. So here, if we see, this picture I took from Dhaka city during my PhD research. This is the scenery in Bangladesh, but for developed country, it's very difficult to see this kind of scenery. If we see here, the waste disposed. After dispose, we burn the waste to reduce the volume of waste, and if we see after burn, the ash, remaining ash, our farmers applied this ash to agricultural field. As a result, the contaminated ash with toxic elements goes to the agricultural field, and after that this contaminates from soil to goes to the food and finally our body. And if we see, this is the waste in Dhaka city, you can see the liquid waste releasing from the industry, very very dangerous. And here we see some battery manufacturing industry, they are also scrapping the old battery, and the scrapped, they especially nickel, cadmium and lead, and after that they release to the environment. So this is the scenery for the source of trace metals. Okay, so yeah, here I would like to talk about the toxic elements in the southern part of Bangladesh, because now presently I live in the southern part of Bangladesh. My university is situated at the southern part of Bangladesh. So why actually in southern part of Bangladesh almost no industry, but why risk to trace elements? This is the question to the scientists nowadays. If we see the left side slide, most of the river connected actually come from the India. You can see the northern part of Bangladesh and enter to our country, and ending point is the southern part of Bangladesh, like the Bay of Bengal, very near to our university. Everybody know, we know. So actually through this water channel, some elements come from the India, some elements come from the upper part of country like Dhaka city, also industrial area. Most of the elements from the industry release through this water channel, and finally it deposited to the Bay of Bengal, the southern part of Bangladesh. And after the deposit, it goes to the agricultural field or food and so on, and create toxic effects. And one of my recent publication articles, the trace elements in especially seawater are connected with the river connected with the sea or very near to the sea or some water from the sea. We can see the level of trace elements is also very high. Initially we thought maybe the level not so high or maybe low, but after our analysis we observed the level is very high. This is due to the reason after deposition or release of waste through the water channel. So this is the cause of trace elements in the southern part of Bangladesh. Okay, so from all the trace elements, I would like to talk about arsenic. This is hot topics in Bangladesh, and if we see the spot of arsenic contamination in the world, if we see USA, also Chile, Mongolia, China, and also Bangladesh, if we see, and if we see the map of Bangladesh, the arsenic level, the most of the high level was observed in the southern part of Bangladesh. If we see like Kustia, Faridpur, Potokali also, we can see the red mark here. And from my experiment, I analyzed arsenic in the food like vegetable, cereal like rice and wheat, different kinds of fruit, meat, egg, fish, milk. I observed this level. Here is ppm, and I also mentioned the WHO level, accepted level or permissible level. If you see the concentration in the food sample slightly higher or far higher than the WHO recommended, it means we are not free from arsenic, or arsenic create risk to our body. And if we see the arsenic in the water, the surface water I observed 77.6 microgram per liter, and deep water I observed 66.4 microgram per liter. This is last month on research article we published. And the Drinking Water Standard Board in our country, they mentioned the permissible level of arsenic in water is 0.05 microgram per liter. If we compare how much times higher our value than the Drinking Water Standard Board or European Commission or WHO standard, far high. It means arsenic is very very dangerous in our sample or in our environment, which may create toxic effects to our body. Okay, so another research actually I did with a group of our collaborator, the T-boil water in Kolapara district, Kolapara Upazila in Potokali. We assess arsenic in some of the T-boil water. and we also observed the arsenic level in tea boil water also high, which is also the reason for the groundwater contamination and intrusion from the sea due to the reason I previously mentioned from the river channel. It accumulated in the water or aquatic water body in the southern part of Bangladesh. This is why we observe high level of arsenic in tea boil water of Kolapara Upazila also. Okay, so another research, the contribution of arsenic, actually from the food sample we analyzed. If we see the proportion of contribution of inorganic arsenic or after intake of arsenic in our body, among the food sample, actually we see cereals contribute higher amount, like about 60%, and also vegetables, but the other not so high. It means cereal, mainly rice, contains higher amount of arsenic due to a lot of reason I will discuss later, and also vegetable. And in our case, we consume a lot of rice in 3 times in a day or 2 times in a day. This is also the reason of intake arsenic in our body. And the lower another research from rural and urban area scenario, similar contribution observed in cereal, vegetables, and other food. Okay, so what are the effects of toxic elements in the environment? If we see, actually, as I am agriculturist, working on agriculture, so I would like to say about agriculture, not other. So if we consider about the plant body, the toxic elements, if remain in the soil or environment, first it try to enter into the plant system through the xylem or vessel like this, and first it comes to the root activity or root surface, then it enters to the plant, then it uptake or accumulate to the above ground part of the plants, and finally it enters to the food chain, which is the target, because the food we consume every day, and this contaminated food also affected in our body like this. Another effect on plants, as example of lead, if we see, actually most of that trace element is dangerous for plants, especially seedling stage or young stage. If we see, if we put any seedling or seed to the soil, and if soil contain higher amount of toxic elements like lead, cadmium, chromium, or arsenic, it first affects to the growing parts or young seedling, then it damages, and the plants cannot survive or the seedlings cannot survive like this. And if we see a lot of chemicals like cadmium, manganese, copper, zinc, lead, iron in the plant system, it goes through the plant and it first enter into the plant, then it affects the plant photosynthetic process, and finally it reduce the plant growth or reduce the plant yield or reduce the quality of fruit or food. And this is also the rice case, similar case. So finally it affects the yield of rice or growth of rice. Through this way, trace elements affects the plant. Okay, then this is the similar case, the system of trace elements, actually especially cadmium, how cadmium enters into the plant system. Actually some ionic form, cadmium changes to some ionic form, then enters into the plant body, and after their uptake the whole plant system may be damaged. And also if we see some effect like crop yield, it reduces the crop yield, plant water relation also change, nutrient uptake, sometimes it reduces the nutrient uptake capacity, and also some cases the seedlings germination also reduce, growth and development reduce, and so on. Okay, so this is the another effects of trace elements on the plant system. If we see, this is the rice, especially iron toxicity. We know iron is essential element, we need iron, plants also need iron, but if this iron contain higher amount in the soil or in the environment, it also create problem like this. If we see the rice plants sometimes show this kind of symptom, and when rice plants suffer high toxicity of iron, the growth is reduced and the production of rice also reduced, and it's very difficult for farmers to identify this is the causes for iron toxicity or some other disease. It's very difficult. Our farmers, if face this kind of problem, they may show the agriculture officer and they may identify it's maybe disease, but some cases it is not disease due to the iron toxicity like this. And this is another effect of actually leguminous crop. If we see some chlorosis or necrosis also observed, especially nickel. If contaminated by nickel, the chlorophyll content or photosynthetic activities of leguminous plant also reduced. This is also very difficult to identify. Is it causes of nickel or some other disease? Like this is the tomato, and if we see the tomato, some lesion you can see or some cracks observed on tomato fruit. This is due to the effect of cadmium. And nowadays, some scientists try to identify some gene responsible for the effect of cadmium on tomato, because tomato is very important horticultural vegetables for us. So if we identify some gene, and if we identify the effect of cadmium identified gene, then we may create some new cultivar which may not affected by cadmium like this. So this is also the effect of the soybean leaves due to the effect of cadmium. If we see this kind of some lesion or some burning symptoms also appear due to the effect of cadmium on the soybean plants. This is also difficulties because some disease also produce this kind of symptom, especially pathologists know, but some cases due to the effect of cadmium. If soil contain higher amount of cadmium, then this cadmium goes to the soybean plants or plant system, then produce this kind of symptom. Okay. And another important thing is the trace element toxicity in our body. Initially, we know the plant system, the upper part is rice. If we see, these are the elements when remain in soil. This translocate to the upper part of plants like rice and goes to the rice. This is the cooked rice. And if we use or if we consume this rice, we expose these kind of elements. And in Bangladesh, actually, huge amount of rice consumption is the principal reason for metal toxicity, which cause toxic effects on our human health. This is the one reason. And if we see, actually this is the source of trace elements in the environment, and from the source like industrial products or industrial source, e-waste also cause the toxic elements in the environment, and it goes to the plant system, and after eat or consume this contaminated fruit or food, it goes to the human body and create toxic effects, especially the women who bear child or pregnant women is very dangerous to the child or infant. So if any pregnant mother or pregnant women expose any toxic elements like arsenic, cadmium, lead, then it goes to the newborn baby and create a lot of problem. So, and with this issue, actually, I try to discuss with some medical doctor and also some medical science researcher how we can identify or how these elements affect on the newborn baby or pregnant mother. Actually, we need a lot of research conduct on this issue. Okay. And one of my research, actually, I try to mention the movement of trace elements in the food chain. Actually, if we see the herbicide, pesticide, fertilizer or industrial effluent emission, these are the source of trace elements or toxic elements. and it goes to the atmosphere after evaporation. Then after, with the rainwater, again it comes to the soil, and finally it goes to the water, groundwater or soil surface. See, and when it goes to the soil, actually we produce crops in soil like fruits, vegetables, cereals, and when these crops expose these trace elements, it goes to the poultry and also cattle. Then it enters into the meat or milk, meat or egg, and from the aquatic water body it goes to the fish. And after eat of this food like meat, egg, milk, fish, and finally it enters in our body. So this is the system of trace elements movement in the environment, or cycle, also you can say cycle in the food chain. And through this way, human being also expose toxic elements from the environment. Okay. This is the another research I did. I collected some food I already mentioned previously, and I collect meat, lentil, rice, egg, fruit, milk, and fish also, and also some other vegetables. And after analysis, I got the data, and from this experiment, I assess health risk. Actually, every day how much we consume cereals, pulse, vegetables, fruit. Then from this consumption, how much amount remained in per kg food of sample. Then I assess the human health risk, and from our previous experiment or previous research, we observe the people of Bangladesh are not safe, and the toxic elements, especially arsenic, cadmium, and lead, and also chromium, create toxic effects to our body. And this is the arsenic contamination. If arsenic, we expose arsenic, some spot in our body or on our skin, some lesion or some damage. Actually, the arsenic damage also our skin. This is the picture. Okay. And this on, from my research, I try to calculate the health risk. Actually, how much risk remain from our experiment or from our result. Actually, we know we expose heavy metals or toxic elements or trace elements from soil, food, or water or air. So these are the source to expose elements to our body. And from soil, we also expose either ingestion, direct intake, or inhalation. Sometimes soil dust, from dust, or soil dust directly enters in our body, or dermal contact. Sometimes we actually some contact our hand or leg or our body also contact with soil. Through this way, the toxic elements in soil enters in our body. So also from food, especially ingestion, and air also inhalation, ingestion. And from this on, I try to calculate toxic effects or health risk. On parameter I use hazard quotient, and we know if hazard quotient higher than on, it creates toxic effects, especially non-carcinogenic effect on human body. And the right hand side, the research was conducted on Patuakhali district, and the left on Dhaka city or industrial area or urban area. And this is the scenery. If we see the ASQ, I observed in from soil around 11. 1 is the limit, but we observed 11. But in the case of Patuakhali, 3.3, not so high. And from food also around 15, and air around 2.6. But in the case of Patuakhali, very low, less than 1. It means the Patuakhali air or food materials or soil not so high contaminated by toxic elements. But in the case of Dhaka city or urban area, the contamination level is very high. So this is an example from our research on trace elements. Okay. So actually this is the movement of trace elements in human body. Previously I already mentioned. Actually these toxic elements goes to the plant system, and finally after it goes to our body. From here, actually, the scientists, they are thinking how we can manage. That means, what is the management practice of this? Actually, which management practice we need to follow to reduce the toxicity or toxic effects in our body. This is on question to our scientists. So nowadays, many scientists, they are trying to invent some management practice. One of the most important practice is biotechnology or genetical tool. If we use this on, that means we can remediate some toxic elements from the food chain. Then it also reduce the toxicity or toxic effects on our human body. So how biotechnologist or genetical tool can reduce the toxic elements level in food? Actually, is very simple, very easy. In my next experiment or next research, I have planned to do this kind of thing. This is very interesting. Previously I mentioned, actually, if we think about the tomato, see, the elements goes to the tomato plants, or when remain in soil, it goes to the system of tomato plants. It means some genes remain in tomato, and these genes or some transporter transport these kind of toxic elements, especially cadmium, arsenic or lead, to the plant system. So if we identify this kind of gene, then we can cut, or we can remove this kind of gene, or we can invent, or we can replace some gene which may not accumulate the toxic elements like arsenic, cadmium or lead. In that case, just insert some gene or remove some gene, then develop some new cultivar, and this cultivar may not accumulate high amount of toxic elements from soil, and through this way we can manage and we can reduce the toxic effects of trace elements. Okay. And this is the also another management, especially arsenic in rice, especially our farmers or our agricultural system, we should follow some of the management practice. So actually, some of the management like genotypic difference uptake, that means genotypic variation, we have to identify some cultivars, some genotypes which accumulate lower amount of arsenic. So we have to identify that kind of genotype or that kind of cultivar for our production like this, or some system we have to change in the plant body using molecular techniques or biotechnological tools like this. And also some we need to develop some tool to reduce arsenic grain, especially some agronomic method, or after our cultivation, after harvest, we have to follow some technology for processing or for storage condition or cooking system we have to change. Then we can also reduce some toxic elements from our food. So this is the management, on kind of management also. And the agronomic management like this, actually through this way also we can reduce the arsenic or cadmium accumulation or other toxic elements in the system like this. So if we manage proper irrigation system with some clean water or surface water, which water don't have higher amount of toxic elements, if we use this water for irrigation, we may also reduce some amount of toxic elements from our food or from our soil. And also multiple cropping system also reduce, because some of the crops don't uptake toxic elements from soil, necessarily lower uptake capacity. So if we use multiple cropping, and also some management like paddling of plants, especially rice cultivation, if we follow like this. And azolla cultivation is very, very important nowadays. Scientists, they are started some research on production of azolla in the rice azolla cultivation system, or in the same field if we produce azolla, this also reduce the toxic element contamination or level of elements in soil or in the agricultural field. And also the dry land cultivation, sometimes we follow some other management practice to reduce the toxic element contamination. And finally, the fertilizer application. This is very, very important. Actually, in our country, we are using a lot of fertilizer, but we don't know this fertilizer contain how much amount of toxic elements. This is also the important issue. So before application, all the fertilizer companies should mention this fertilizer contain this amount of toxic elements like arsenic, cadmium, or lead. And after that, we have to follow the guidelines of the company. Then we have to follow and we have to apply this fertilizer. But unfortunately, in our country, we could not found any of the company they mention the level of toxic elements in their fertilizer. This is one of the reason is very difficult to analyze. We know the toxic element analysis is very, very time consuming and also the costly. This is why most of the company they never analyze or assess the level of toxic elements in their fertilizer. This is also the reason. And another management, actually burning of crop residue. Actually after harvest our crops, some farmers they burn is very nice actually, but without scientific knowledge, some farmers directly burn their crops for pest management. But also if we burn the crop residue, we also can manage the toxic elements in our field. And this is the another management, actually waste management. We have to follow some management practice our waste. We have to collect. We don't need to throw all the waste to the open place. So we have to collect or we have to store the waste from different source to a place. Then we have to categorize. Then we have to dump in a place, or we have to burn in a proper way or scientific way. And another, if we see the cooking practice also reduce the toxic elements contamination. Presently I am working on this. I cooked rice of different varieties. Presently I am working on this issue also, and we analyze sample before cook and after cook and how much it reduce. If we see in our country, actually most of the conventional cooking system, during our cooking or during boiling, some of the actually house owner, especially women, they remove the hot water from the rice. In that case, around 30 to 50% of arsenic can be removed from the rice, or also other toxic elements can be removed, 20% or 30% like this. So this cooking practice is very important. If we use a lot of water for boiling, then during boiling we should remove some of the water. In that case, we can reduce the toxicity effect or toxic effects of trace elements in our food sample, especially rice. And last one, okay. So what are actually the previous research? Some of the research I try to mention from my presentation, and this is the last future benefits from the study. Actually, I did a lot of study and also continuing. I am working. And what are the benefits? So, number one is it helps to manage our environment. Actually, in our country, if we see most of the urban area, our waste management is not good or is not scientific or proper. So, if we know what is the level of toxic elements in our waste, or what is the toxic effects of trace elements in our body, if we know, then we may take some initiative to manage our waste and to save our environment. This is also a message from my study, and also create awareness to human. Actually, this kind of research also create awareness to human. In my experiment or in my practical situation, I observed in Dhaka city, especially tannery industrial area, many farmers or many workers, they are working around the tannery waste dispose site, or they are working in the tannery waste or tannery industry. I asked many questions to them. Do you know the situation of tannery waste about toxic elements? Most of the people or worker, they say we don't know, or we have no idea about toxic elements like chromium, cadmium, lead, or arsenic. Though they are working that place without any actually precautions, they are exposing, and a lot of also worker I observed they are they exposed, and a lot of workers also I observed many workers skin they have some lesion or some poison like symptom or spot on their body like chromium and arsenic, but they don't know about these elements, but they're working. So it should create awareness to human. And another important, achieve the goal of government, especially government of Bangladesh, for blue economy. Actually, we know this is the main topics of our government. Our government try to achieve or try to develop the blue economy in our country, and in this way, our government can earn a lot of money, foreign money, foreign currency, because we know the developed country like Japan, Singapore, China, Australia also, they develop their blue economy. So my research or this kind of research, how take part for the development of blue economy. One example I want to mention here. Actually, the blue economy is means our government try to get the maximum benefit from the sea products or sea area. We know a lot of sea we have, or Bay of Bengal or big ocean we have. So the sea product, that means sea fish, seaweeds, algae, crabs, or so on. Also sea, also water or other products from the sea. So if we ensure the quality of sea products like seaweeds or crabs, fish, shellfish, and so on. So to ensure the quality of sea products, we have to assess these toxic elements first. And if we can assess, then we can give the message to our government. This is the level of elements in our sea products. So if elements level is very high, we have to take the initiate, or we have to identify the reason why level is very high. We have to manage our environment. After that, our sea products, the quality will be improved. Then we can export these sea products, and finally it may achieve the goal of our government like this. So in my next or future research, I want to start some research on seaweeds or sea products, especially related to the blue economy of Bangladesh. And another benefits, maintain sound health. I already mentioned a lot of health problem like arsenic. It affects on also kidney or some nausea or some cancer also. It creates cancer. Arsenic, lead, or cadmium also create cancer. So if we worried about this, or if we take some initiative or management to control the toxic elements in our body, in our environment, then we can save or we can maintain sound health. So that's all. Thank you.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার, অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ এত সুন্দরভাবে আমাদেরকে সবগুলো বিষয় বোঝানোর জন্য। স্যার আপনি হচ্ছে সাউদার্ন পার্টে বিভিন্ন আপনার রিসার্চের সম্পর্কে আমাদেরকে জানিয়েছেন, এবং ফুড চেইনে কিভাবে ট্রেস এলিমেন্টের ইফেক্ট করছে এবং প্ল্যান্ট বডিতে কিভাবে ইফেক্ট করছে, হিউম্যান বডিতে কিভাবে ইফেক্ট করছে সেগুলো সব সম্পর্কে আমাদেরকে জানিয়েছেন। এবং আপনি আরো বলেছেন আমরা কিভাবে ম্যানেজমেন্ট প্র্যাকটিস করতে পারি। স্যার আমাদেরকে অ্যাজোলা কাল্টিভেশন সম্পর্কে বলেছেন, এবং রাইস কাল্টিভেশন, ড্রাই ল্যান্ড কাল্টিভেশন, কুকিং প্র্যাকটিস সম্পর্কে স্যার আমাদেরকে জানিয়েছেন। আশা করি আপনারা সবাই খুবই মনোযোগ দিয়ে স্যারের প্রত্যেকটি কথা শুনেছেন, যেন হচ্ছে আমরা নেক্সট টাইম এইসব আমাদের প্র্যাকটিক্যাল লাইফে কাজে লাগাতে পারি। এবং স্যার হচ্ছে একটি বিষয়ে দুঃখ প্রকাশ করেছেন, সেটা হচ্ছে আসলে বর্তমানে যেসব কোম্পানিগুলো কাজ করছে তারা ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট লেভেল নিয়ে সে ধরনের কোনো কাজ করছে না, কাজগুলো দীর্ঘস্থায়ী হওয়ার কারণে। তো আমরা আশা করি নতুন যদি কোনো স্টার্ট আপ শুরু হয় কিংবা নতুন কোনো কোম্পানি শুরু হয়, তারা অবশ্যই এই ব্যাপারগুলোর দিকে খেয়াল রাখবে। এবং স্যার আপনাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ এত সুন্দরভাবে আসলে বোঝানোর জন্য। আমি নিজে অনেক কিছু জানতাম না আজকে।
না, এটা আসলে সময় আমার হোল রিসার্চ আসলে ব্যাখ্যা করতে গেলে অনেক সময় লাগবে, তারপরে চেষ্টা করছি। But sorry to say, actually, the presentation I did in English is difficult to say in my native language. This okay. Actually, toxic element not so much familiar in our country, but our farmers should learn, especially fertilizer and pesticide. You already mentioned. I also mentioned. Actually, in developed country, when I visited in Japan, Canada, or some other country I visited, and I tried to talk with some farmers, and they know about this, the toxic elements or the level of elements in their product, or the fertilizer pesticide they are using, they also know. But in our country, no information. If you visit today in the supermarket or in the shop, you could not found any information about this. So this is also the reason. So we should identify. And another interesting thing, actually, a lot of researchers in Bangladesh, more than 100 researchers, they are doing research on toxic elements. And also every time we are sending some information, some message to our government, and government try to discuss this issue in the Ministry of Environment like this. But I don't know why our environment or our management practice not improving. I don't know. If you visit in Dhaka city, especially the three rivers, Turak, Buriganga, Shitolakha, I did my PhD on that rivers, so I know a lot of things. And you know, most of the industrial outlet from the industry to this river, and very dangerous effect. They don't think about our human body or about the biota or about the organism. They don't think about this. It's you know, a lot of chemicals releasing. They say to our government, we have treatment system, but I know not a single industry they operate their treatment system. They have treatment system, I know, just like the I was like this. If you visit, I try to visit a lot of industry, but they never permit me. They say, okay, please wait around 1 hour, then I allowed to enter their industry. It means they maybe their treatment facilities or they did not operate their treatment. When I try to enter, after see me, then they start like this, and they say our treatment is okay, but I am sure their treatment not okay. If okay, then our level not so high. One example, actually, I observed lead level in Buriganga river sediment around 5,000 ppm, and when I presented in Canada, and one scientist said this level is world highest level, and I don't believe this research. But I say I actually that researcher thought maybe I did research from Bangladesh, but I did research in Japan, and around 10 times I did that kind of research because the level was very high. For more confirmation, and I sent also that sample some organization in Japan, and I got the data. And after that we observe most of the data shows here. And I presented in Canada, and they say your government should take the initiative against this kind of pollution, but still now no improvement. My supervisor Japan visited around 2016 and also visited 2020, and my professor say your country not improving, but a lot of scientists every year they're doing their PhD, they did their PhD, and they send some message to government. But I don't know why. We should think about this. Our environment also, actually, situation every place is same, but we should think as an environmental scientist, we should think about the better environment which can save us also.
স্যার আসলে এটা অত্যন্ত দুঃখজনক, এত রিসার্চ হওয়ার পরেও যখন আমাদের গভর্নমেন্ট কোনো স্টেপ নিচ্ছে না। আশা করি গভর্নমেন্ট সামনে স্টেপ নিবে, আশা করি এই পরিস্থিতির উত্তরণ হবে। স্যার তো স্যার অনেকগুলো প্রশ্ন আছে কমেন্ট বক্সে, স্যার আমরা একটু প্রশ্নের দিকে চলে যাই। স্যার জিনাত্রিমি প্রশ্ন করেছেন, হোয়াট মেজার শুড বি টেক টু মিনিমাইজ দ্য ব্যাড ইফেক্টস অফ ট্রেস এলিমেন্ট অন প্লান্ট গ্রোথ?
What measures? Yeah, actually
বলেছেন।
Okay. And actually, many measures. Actually, if we think about small scale, like one example, actually I did my research, brinjal. If we think about this, one example, brinjal, horticulture crop, very important crop or important vegetable for us. Every day we eat brinjal. So some varieties of brinjal uptake a lot of contaminants, and some varieties naturally they don't uptake a lot of contaminants. So we have to identify that cultivars, then we can make some new cultivars like grafting or some kind of thing. This is on way. Another way I mentioned the biotechnological tool. This is a time consuming tool, but this is one of the most important tools. If we follow this on, we may develop or we can develop new cultivars like rice. Already develop some cultivars of rice which not accumulate more arsenic in our country, but not other elements like cadmium, lead. No cultivars still now not developed. This is another thing. And for soil management, it is very important. Actually, in our country, if you visit in my village or in your village or most of the rural area, you may see, especially dry season, when the river, actually the water level in the river is very low. Some farmers, they use the sediment, or they took the sediment from the river, and this sediment they apply to the soil as a source of organic matter. You know, a lot of organic matter deposited in the river sediment or pond sediment or so on, any riverine system or water body. So this sediment, after application, the possibility is very high to accumulate these toxic elements. So in that case also, we don't need to apply this kind of sediment for our organic matter supplement. This is also another way we can reduce. And also I already mentioned, when we select any fertilizer, pesticide, we have to think about this: is it contaminated or not? This is also the reason. And another thing, and another, when we use irrigation water, from which source we are using irrigation water. Sometimes we use groundwater, mainly in our country the rice production, but developed country they use surface water, but in our country we use 80% we use groundwater, and this groundwater contain a lot of arsenic, also some other element, especially nitrate, also the hot topics. I am working on nitrate now, no research conducted yet. So if we use this groundwater containing nitrate or arsenic or cadmium or other, this is also possibility is very high to contaminate or accumulate in the plant system. So if we avoid these kind of things, then we can easily manage, or we can reduce the level of elements in our food. Thank you.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার। জিনাত রিমি, আশা করি আপনি আপনার প্রশ্নের উত্তরটি পেয়ে গেছেন। স্যার আরো ডিটেইলসে বলেছেন। তো আমরা পরবর্তী প্রশ্ন চলে যাচ্ছি স্যার। মিতু দত্ত প্রশ্ন করেছে, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য বেস্ট মেথড টু ডিটারমাইন trace heavy metals such as silver in water?
Actually, if we think about a lot of method, but presently main method is actually I want to discuss about my experiment. After collection sample like soil sample or food sample, we have to dry, then we have to grind, or we have to digest using nitric acid and so on, other acid digest. And after acid digest, the extract, we can measure toxic elements by using many instruments like atomic absorption spectrophotometer or inductively coupled plasma mass spectrophotometer, ICP-MS. I prefer ICP-MS, but in our country it's very difficult because you know ICP-MS, the price is more than 2 crores, 2 koti taka, more than. It's very difficult, like in my university is not possible. But we have atomic absorption spectrophotometer, also we can use this one, but the level of accuracy is not so high. This is why ICP-MS is very important to analyze. And nowadays also other instruments also directly analyze heavy metals or toxic elements, especially from ash or from soil, especially in Atomic Energy Commission in Bangladesh or Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission. They are using, I sent some of my sample, now they are analyzing this another instrument. They directly burn the sample, they insert the sample in their instrument, and this instrument they burn and they get the data. And I heard the price of this instrument is 12 crore money, 12 koti taka. So it's very also expensive, and this is the reason most of the fertilizer company, they never assess the element status in their fertilizer or pesticide. This is one of the reason. And the method is like this: just acidization, extraction, then analysis by instrument like this.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার। তো
some of my students also working on this present. My master student, they are working now. My 5 master student, they are working on this issue also presently. Okay.
ওকে স্যার, অ্যাকচুয়ালি অনেক বেশি এক্সপেন্সিভ হয়ে যায় মেথড গুলো, এই জন্য আসলে বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্টও চাচ্ছে না করতে। আচ্ছা স্যার, আমরা
Another question. Okay.
জি স্যার,
Faisal
অ্যানাদার
Ahmed.
কোশ্চেন, স্যার হাউ মেনি স্যাম্পলস শুড বি
Sample.
মিনিমাম?
Yeah. Actually, it's not defined. On sample, you also can analyze. But if you want to produce or you want to publish any good article, good manuscript, it takes lot of sample. Some manuscript, some paper, they assess 20 sample. Some manuscript they assess 100 sample. Presently, we analyze 250 sample. Presently, with the collaboration of Dhaka University and Atomic Energy Commission, I am analyzing some sample like this. Actually, if you try to assess the scenery, like if you think about the southern part of Bangladesh, you have to analyze a lot of sample, maybe more than 100, 200, 300 like this, because you have to collect sample from Potuakhali, many location, from Barguna, maybe from Khulla, Bagherhat, Satkhira, southern part of Bangladesh. If you collect a lot of sample, then you can get a scenery like this. Or if you think about the Bay of Bengal, you have to collect sample, like in my experiment, in my research, last month I published on research, we collect sample from Cox's Bazar, Chittagong, Meghna Ishuri, and Sundarban. This area, 14 location we select, and every location we collect 3 sample. That means 42 sample of sediment, 42 sample of water, and we collect from this 14 location 15 species of fish. Still now our data is analyzing. So this kind of thing. But for get the information, if you have 3 sample, you also get the data like this, how the level of elements in your field or in your pot or in your sample like this. You also can analyze 3 sample, 5 sample, no problem, to get the idea.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার। ফয়সাল আহমেদ, আশা করি আপনি আপনার প্রশ্ন উত্তরটি পেয়ে গেছেন। স্যার কলি আক্তার প্রশ্ন করেছে, হাউ মেনি ট্রেস এলিমেন্টস আর দেয়ার ইন দ্য
Yeah, it's very important. How many trace elements? Actually, we know a lot of elements. Actually, we already know the essential elements and toxic elements. Around 16 or 17 elements remain, and most of the elements we took or we intake from the environment when we eat food, or when we take the air from the atmosphere. This air contain these elements also intake in our body. But especially in our country, we are worried about some very few elements like arsenic, cadmium, lead, chromium. These 4, and mercury. But for mercury analysis is very difficult because the analysis procedure little bit different than other elements. So mercury, we don't think about this. But this is also important because mercury also creates some toxic effect. And arsenic, cadmium, lead, they produce non-carcinogenic effect, normal effect like kidney damage or some disease in our disease like structure in our body. But they produce cancer, lifetime cancer, if we expose, like if we intake the arsenic contaminated food every day in our whole life cycle. At the end of our life cycle, we may expose cancer due to the effect of arsenic, or due to the effect of cadmium, or due to the effect of lead. So these 3-4 elements is our main target elements. Also other elements, but some essential like zinc or copper. Actually, if level is very high, it produce or create toxic. But if level not so high, is okay because this is essential. We need, no problem like this. 3, 4, 5 elements is very target element in our country.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার। স্যার তাপস কর্মকার বলেছেন, pharmaceutical pollution also so high in your river system. I found in a collaboration research with UK 300 times higher than world standard value, and this is a concerning issue.
Actually, thank you, Taposh. Is very interesting and nice question. Actually, I know Taposh working with UK group, and also I am working with JICA, Japan collaborated fund on project I obtained now, and I am working on the pharmaceuticals waste, and it's very difficult in our country. I tried to collect most of the pharmaceutical waste. I could not find any pharmaceutical waste. Actually, they don't allow me to collect their sample. This is important. Actually, if you see the other country, if you want sample, they may willingly, okay, please take my sample and please analyze this. But in our country, it's different situation, because no pharmaceutical industry, they operate their treatments. Actually, they release their waste without treatment. This is also the reason. And Taposh mentioned 300 times, but I know most of the pharmaceuticals industrial waste contain more than 500 times, 1000 times higher than the standard level in our country also. This is why I am trying to analyze some elements from the pharmaceutical wastewater, and after that I may have some data, but I know not 300, sometimes 500, 1000 times higher. I already observed from some of the waste from industry, not pharmaceutical but other industry like textile, tannery, and I observe 500 times higher, some cases 1000 times higher than the standard level. Yeah, thank you.
ধন্যবাদ তাপস কর্মকার দাদা, আপনার হচ্ছে বক্তব্যটি আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করার জন্য। এবং স্যার, আমরা প্রায় অনুষ্ঠানের শেষ পর্যায়ে চলে এসেছি। শোয়েব মিরাজ বলেছেন, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ স্যার ফর দিস ইনফরমেটিভ সেশন। ইয়া, দিস সেশন ওয়াজ অ্যাকচুয়ালি ভেরি ইনফরমেটিভ ফর অল অফ আস। তো অনেক কিছু জানতে পেরেছি, আশা করি সামনে আরো জানতে পারবো। তো স্যার, আপনি যদি কিছু বলেন দর্শকদের উদ্দেশ্যে, বা স্যার আপনি যে আমাদেরকে ইনসাইটস গুলো দিলেন স্যার, এটা আমরা ফার্মাল লেভেলে কিভাবে রিচ করতে পারি স্যার, এই জন্য যদি কোনো আইডিয়া আমাদেরকে দিতেন।
আসলে এটা আসলে শুরুতেই বলছি ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট, বিকজ আওয়ার ফার্মার্স ডোন্ট নো, or they don't have any idea about toxic elements, but actually they are cultivating and they are eating every day and they are exposing, but we don't know. Like me or you also, we are eating every day, we don't know this food come from which area. If this food comes from the contaminated area, we are exposing. So actually it's very difficult to send the message to farmers. How, I don't know, actually I don't have any idea about this, how we create awareness to the farmer.
আমরা হয়তো ক্যাম্পেইন করতে পারি এই বিষয়ে।
Yeah, it's true actually. If of course we need some campaign, like some developed country, every farmers, like in Japan, when I go to the field, I talk with a lot of farmers and they know very well, because actually due to the reason they already campaign a lot of things like this. We should mention about the toxic elements, their effect and their source and their management. Actually some management like rice cultivation, some water management, or the use of water from the source, which source they are using, groundwater or surface water. This is the reason, this is the thing or message we can send to the farmer, but actually it's very difficult to make the awareness. But I hope in future, if after a few years, all the farmers in our country will know about this. I'm sure.
Yes,
because
sir,
we are doing this research.
ধন্যবাদ স্যার। স্যার, অনুষ্ঠানের একেবারে শেষ পর্যায়ে চলে এসেছি স্যার, আপনার যদি আমাদের দর্শকদের উদ্দেশ্যে বা শ্রোতাদের উদ্দেশ্যে কিছু বলার থাকে।
আসলে বলার কিছু নাই, আমার খুবই ভালো লাগছে কিছু সময় তোমাদের সাথে এটা নিয়ে আলোচনা করলাম। Actually I wanted to discuss a lot of things about my research about the toxic elements, but due to the shortage of time it's very difficult. But I hope near future I may discuss with you not only this forum, also other way, also in my university or any campaign or any conference or seminar in my university. I hope near future we may arrange some kind of symposium or seminar like this, or I may arrange, I have planned in future with the student, all the student in my university. I would like to arrange some kind of symposium, seminar, and I want to disseminate my knowledge, or I want to share with you and also with the farmers like this. And অনেক সময় ধৈর্য ধরে আমার কথা শোনার জন্য সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ।
স্যার, আপনাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ এতক্ষণ আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য, এত ব্যস্ততার মধ্যেও। And sir, it's really my great pleasure to share the stage with you. স্যার, অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ আপনাকে আবারও।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
তো আশা করি আজকে দর্শকদের উদ্দেশ্যে বলছি, আশা করি আজকের অনুষ্ঠানটি আপনাদের অবশ্যই অনেক বেশি ভালো লেগেছে এবং আপনারা অনেক কিছু জানতে পেরেছেন ট্রেস এলিমেন্টের ব্যাপারে, যেসব সম্পর্কে আপনারা হয়তো আগে জানতেন না। তো এ ধরনের আরো অনেক প্রোগ্রাম নিয়ে আমরা আপনাদের সামনে আবার হাজির হব, এবং ততদিন পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথে থাকুন এবং চোখ রাখুন কৃষি জাগরণের পর্দায়। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে, সবাই সুস্থ থাকবেন, ভালো থাকবেন, এবং স্যার অবশ্যই সুস্থ থাকবেন, ভালো থাকবেন। স্যার, আমাদের জন্য দোয়া করবেন।
হ্যাঁ, দোয়া করো, সবার জন্য দোয়া করি। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার, এবং সবাইকে শুভরাত্রি।
ওকে, শুভরাত্রি, বাই বাই।